Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I like to cover the stupidity of Brexit with the idiocy of some of the electorate and wonder if we shouldn't just concentrate efforts on those who are capable of rational thought. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So again, all very much tied in with the debate that's going on, raging again, particularly around the left of politics. See, we have this mad narrative in the UK, particularly on the left, that we can't attack Brexit because that is calling working class people thick for voting for it. And Labour won't win if we don't get working class people on side. Which is a little bit mad for all sorts of reasons, not least the ones I discussed yesterday. But what even is working class these days? A lot of the spurious crap that people talk, and they use the term working class, it's based on not actually even knowing what working class is. So it used to be easy. You left school at the earliest opportunity, you got an apprenticeship or you just got a job. You then worked a basic wage, you'd rent all your life and you'd retire into poverty. Like my paternal grandparents. Grandad was a miner, died fairly young from the crap in his lungs and his heart. Grandma lived much longer, but a very simple life in rented accommodation. My dad and his siblings made sure she was all right because, they all worked on reasonable wages. But now let's say you have someone grow up on a council estate. They rent their property. They're not able to save for a mortgage. They are going to be renting. They earn less than the average wage. Are they working class? Yeah, sure. They have a university degree. Oh, no, can't be working class then. Let's say you have someone who grew up on a council estate, left school at 15, no qualifications, no GCSEs, no A-levels, no degree. They've got no certificates to the name at all, maybe a driving licence. Are they working class? Yeah, sure. But they had an entrepreneurial brain and made a fortune buying and selling. They now live in a mansion and drive a Rolls Royce. Oh, wait, no, can't be working class then. So now let's say you have someone who grew up in a middle class family, what we would agree is a middle class family. Wanted for nothing, went to university because it's what their parents expected, but didn't really settle into the clerical or academic career, went into construction. They work a hard manual job doing roadworks for a career. Not in management, not even a foreman, just battering away at a road with a jackhammer all day long. Are they working class? I don't know, it's confusing. See, the whole thing is that social mobility is not what it should be, but do you know what? It's a damn sight better than it used to be. There are millions of people growing up in this country who are trapped. They're not encouraged to have aspirations, and so they are unlikely to climb out of the trap. But it used to be almost impossible to climb out. If you were born into a certain family at one time, your path in life was set. That was all there was to it. You may have heard of one or two people, a generation, breaking free from the trap. Exceptional people or people for whom the stars aligned. Now you will see one or two people per school break free from the shackles of their accident of birth. Social mobility is crap, but it does at least exist now. And this makes definitions of class really difficult. Is working class based on how you grew up? But how you grew up doesn't form your mindset later in life? Or is it based on where you are as an adult? But part of your mindset was determined by your upbringing. And don't get me wrong, class absolutely exists in the UK, but it's a lot more fluid. It's also a lot less meaningful as a definer of political alignment. The bottom line is you've got brickies who will vote Conservative. That's not because Labour are failing them as such. They'd be better off under Labour, sure. It's because they believe the Conservative philosophy about hard work setting you free. Where have we heard that before? Arbeit macht frei, as the Nazis famously said while they were murdering their populations. But you also have affluent people who will never have to worry about paying the bills, that know it's inherently unfair that there are people struggling who do not have the support of the state and are perfectly happy to pay taxes, more taxes in fact, because they're doing all right and align with socialist values. And that's people who are rational and thinking. Both of those people are rational and thinking. I might say that one of them is wrong and one of them is right, but they're thinking it through. That's before we even consider the people who are just plain stupid. Because we saw these guys last week as well. And before I go through these couple of tales, I want to remember, and this is what I want to keep coming back to, this idea that we have, particularly on the left, you can't attack Brexit because that's calling working class people thick. Right, here we go. A couple of little tales from people explaining why they switched from voting Labour to voting Conservative. You may have come across these. They were shared widely on social media. So someone says they're voting Conservative because it's thanks to the Tories they now have 9 food banks in their area now. When Labour were in government, there weren't any. Now, thanks to the Tories, we've got 9. Of course there weren't any under Labour. State support was in place during Labour's time in office. The need for food banks was virtually absent. So you didn't have them in the vast majority of areas of the country. Now you have them everywhere. And this is the thinking, isn't it? Oh, food banks are there to provide food for people going hungry. Well, people going hungry is bad. So giving food to these people is good. Therefore, food banks are good. Now, there's no thought for the fact that it's not actually the Tories providing these food banks. What they're providing is the hunger, not the food bank. The food bank is springing up to deal with the hunger that the Conservatives are providing, the bad thing. But that person cannot rationalise that in their brain. They can't understand it. That is the level of dumb that exists. You cannot show these people the damage of Brexit, the pandemic, or any other cretinous Tory policy. If you could sit down with each one individually, perhaps, calmly discuss it, yeah. But we don't have the resources to do that. We have to accept that some people are just dumb. And no, calling them dumb isn't stopping Labour coming to power. Pretending that they aren't dumb is turning away the voters who have a brain and want a party to represent them. Because here's the thing. I'll give you the other example. Then I'm going to come back to this. Another one. A voter who switched to the Conservatives. They said they were voting Tory because Labour hadn't built any hospitals in the time that the Tories were in government. Well, Labour haven't built any hospitals for ages. That's because the Conservatives have been in government. Absolutely the same level of dumb. They are voting Tory because they aren't happy with the Tory government. And they're blaming Labour for it. Now, I could blame the Labour leaderships of the past 12 or 13 years, the past 4 leaders, for the fact that the Tories are still in power. Or at least the last 3. But I don't think you get to blame Labour for Conservatives' spending priorities when they're sat on the opposition benches. Now, I'd like to remind people about Cambridge Analytica here. So, actually, no, before I do that, first things first, this is the point I was trying to make before. So you've got people saying you can't attack Brexit because that's calling working class people who voted for it thick. But here's the thing. The people who still think Brexit's a good idea, because there's plenty that don't, but the people who still think it's a good idea, they're pretty thick. But there are lots of working class people, as they might like to say, that didn't vote for it, that voted Remain. Most Labour working class voters voted Remain. By not attacking Brexit, you're calling them thick. You're telling them they're wrong. You're calling a group of working class people thick, whichever way you look at it. So should we actually just call the genuine thick ones thick? That's what I would like to do. Cambridge Analytica, this is the point. Now, they were the group that masterminded a very successful campaign to persuade people to vote for Brexit and for Trump in 2016. The way they did it was quite ingenious. Horrendous, but ingenious. With stolen personal data, they identified people whose minds could be changed and then bombarded them with messages. Lies, of course. They didn't just send out random messages, lies, propaganda to the interwebs and see where it lay. No, they targeted. They were very effective. The key is that they targeted very efficiently people whose minds could be changed in key parts of the country and hit them with propaganda. We need to do the same thing. Progressive political parties need to do the same thing. I don't mean steal personal data and I don't mean bombard people with lies. I mean focus on people who are willing to engage and engage with them. Don't waste time on people whose minds are closed. Sure, if you can spend time sitting down with someone and talking them through things with evidence, absolutely you can change your mind. But no organisation has the resources to do that effectively for the millions of people for which it's necessary. Some people are idiots. Some of those idiots you might think are working class. Some of them will be, even though I genuinely do not know if we even have a clear definition of working class that stands up to people's vague understanding of the term. Brexit is stupid. Some of the people who voted for Brexit were idiots. Some of them were just naive and believed the lies. After all, I've said it before, nobody in the Remain camp really explained the benefits of membership. They spent all their time trying to counter the Leave lies. But that just made it a case of one side was lying, make up your mind which side it was. In such a battle, the best con artist will always win. especially if they use unlawful methods. So I think we have to not be afraid of calling someone stupid, because at the end of the day, you are, by being afraid of calling them stupid, or calling a different group stupid. There are working class people who are against Brexit. There are working class people who are in favour of Brexit. Whichever one, by their own logic, you are saying is wrong, you're calling stupid. So either you're not calling people stupid for voting Brexit, in which case what's the problem? Or you are calling people stupid for their Brexit choice, in which case you're telling all the ones who voted to remain, or at least now believe that we should have remained, stupid. It's one or the other. You can't win from that point of view, so you might as well actually stand up for what you believe in. And in Labour, we believe that we should be close to the EU. We believe we should be in the EU. You know? And it's not actually calling someone stupid to call Brexit stupid. Brexit is stupid. I can find daily examples of this as necessary. And often I do. I'm not actually calling anyone stupid for supporting it. I call some people stupid for supporting it. The ones who prove themselves to be stupid. Like, for example, voting for the Conservatives because they brought them food banks. Or voting for the Conservatives because Labour haven't been building any hospitals whilst the Conservatives have been in power. They are objectively stupid. And that's all there is to it. And if these people still support Brexit, now that they have had the facts shown to them, now that Brexit is a reality, they are stupid and should be called out as such. Because failing to call them out as such is calling the people who see the truth stupid. And you're saying that idiots are worth more than rational voters. Also, on a practical note, Labour cannot attract the votes of idiots who read the Express or the Daily Mail. It's not happening. But they can attract the votes of people who can see the stupidity for themselves, or will see it if it's explained to them. I think they should do that. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.